here and now today.
Yes, indeed, my friends, this is the day, and I appreciate all of you for being here on the live. You got to ring the victory bell for being so amazing. I can't believe it. We're still crushing it here. We were here at episode 509, and no end in sight. People keep chasing me to get on my show. So, thank you for everybody, all my family, my friends, my fans, for making this a journey that has really transformed not only all of the people out there that need it, but it's also transformed me. Thank you. I found my voice. And you know who else has helped me find my voice? My next guest. And let me tell you all about him. So this is the one and only Dr. Jacob Guidi. He's a cellist, an educator, and a proud father. Oh, I love that. And he's the account director at Thrive Benefits Groups. He brings his heart and for service to partnering with nonprofits across the Southeast, including Boys and Girls Clubs, City of Refuge, Street Grace, still serving the veterans and faith-based organizations, but designing benefit strategies that truly support the people carrying the mission. Jacob believes the boots on the ground of any nonprofit didn't show up for his six-figure salaries. They showed up because they believe in the work, right? And so, because the mission helped them first. So, just such a heartfelt entrepreneur. So without any further delay, please welcome the one and only, super talented, super handsome, the guy who walked to school uphill both ways in the snow, barefoot, the one and only Jacob Guidi. Hey, Jacob, welcome to the show. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good, Rajan. Thank you for that introduction. I wasn't barefoot when I walked to school, but I did have a 20-pound cello in my hand, so there was that.
That sounds about right then. All right. And if you want to feel like you're barefoot and fancy-free, click the link below so you can leave comments on the live. So let's just dive right in. So, Jacob, you started in music and education, earned a doctorate in the musical arts. Like, how did that background shape you and your approach to the nonprofits?
The more I look at it, it's influenced almost every aspect of my life, how I operate. It's not like I woke up with the dream of being in insurance or, doing what I do in employee benefits. I very clearly remember some of my first memories being that of just wanting to be a musician. Like I remember hearing, I think it was Jukebox Hero on a little CD player.
I remember that game. Yeah.
I was 6. I was like, wow, I want to be a guitarist. And then, when I was going to school for cello performance, a lot of the discipline and just rigor to stick with something, even when it sucks, to see it through, to know how to present an idea, not just in its technical state, but in a state that communicates well with people, that makes them feel something, is a lot of what carries over into the employee benefits and insurance space. So I think, when I say the word insurance, or anyone does, people's eyes start rolling into the back of their heads.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's true.
My goal at the end of the day isn't to, get you license ready to be a certified agent yourself or broker, but to help you understand the policy or the benefits that you have in a meaningful enough way to where you're able to make the best informed decisions for yourself, for your family, so that, it makes just enough sense to resonate with you on an emotional level to where you have what you need.
So what is the biggest problem with nonprofits? Why are they losing money in their payroll, even though they're nonprofits? I don't understand that. How would you explain that?
So this isn't just exclusive to nonprofits, but let's just focus on nonprofits because it's a lot of the organizations that we work with. So nonprofits are tax exempt, except for payroll taxes, right? So for any W-2 employee that they have, they're they're matching their FICA, their Medicare, their Social Security.
Right.
So the way that nonprofits are being affected specifically are when they provide benefits or they have benefits that are available to employees and no employees are wanting to participate in those benefits. They're not able to maximize their pre-tax deductions, which means they're not able to minimize their tax exposure. So being able to create a better benefit offering that makes sense to all of the employees, something that everyone wants to participate in, they're significantly reducing their tax exposure. And when you're doing that, you think about the amount of recurring money every time you run payroll that you're not having to send to Uncle Sam. And so, we think of all these strategic levers in terms of creating more funds for an organization, the prices or, change services. But one of the easiest things that's often overlooked is how much you're paying in payroll taxes, because that's an expense, that's a line item every time you run payroll. So in a nutshell, that's where it is.
Wow. Hadn't even thought about it that way. So I plan to launch my own nonprofit this year. Those that have been following my journey for the past 3 to 5 years know that I want to become the 99%, meaning I want to donate 99% of my wealth to the world's real problems, educating children, make sure we get enough food around the world, clean drinking water, stop trafficking, stop drugs, stop gangs. There are so many big goals out there that we need to work to focus on. So if I wanted to maximize, like you're saying, like maximize my pre-tax savings, like what are some strategies that the average person or the average nonprofit can do to help them to keep some of that money in the nonprofit so they can do more good?
Yeah. So you have a handful of things. Let's just talk about your normal pre-tax benefits. So things that you can normally contribute on a pre-tax basis, like a 401k, your health insurance, and then you have your ancillary benefits, your life, critical illness, things like that. Where we come in and what we specialize in is a program that, unlike the other pre-tax deductions, is able to maintain the employee's paycheck. And so here's what I mean by that. Oftentimes the reason why employees don't want to participate in some of the benefits that an employer provides is because there's an assumed out-of-pocket expense, right? So like with health insurance, I can get tax savings by pre-taxing my health insurance, but that also means I'd have to pay for my health insurance, right?
Yeah.
And so, not all pre-tax deductions are equal. There are certain eligible deductions which are able to be reimbursed from the employer. And so for us, what that looks like is a comprehensive wellness system that is able to be reimbursed by the employer. So in essence, the employee is getting the positive effect of those tax savings. So is the employer, right? You're both getting those tax savings, but the employee isn't having to feel the out-of-pocket expense. So employee tax savings, employer tax savings, employee gets all the access to those $0 copay, $0 deductible services, mental health assistance, all that, but they don't have to feel the premium coming out of their paycheck like they would if, say, they were purchasing health insurance every month pre-tax.
Right. Okay. So these are other ways that people can start using those benefits in a sort of a as needed way. Rather than spending it up front, you're basically using it as you need it and then getting reimbursed.
That's a good way to think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, that's great. Okay. Beautiful. I like that because I remember at my last company, I was able to use, for example, we weren't near a gym, so we were able to write off our gym membership.
Right.
People don't realize if you're at a smaller company, if you probably have less than 100 employees, and you don't, and if you're not part of a gym, go to LA Fitness, Planet Fitness, any gym, and then your $20-$30 a month or whatever it is can be written off up to a certain amount per year. So now you're staying healthier. The company likes that. So that means staying healthier means less sick days, which means more productivity for them. So it's always about using things in a way that benefit both you and the company. So creating some real synergy, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love it. What about, I'm actually, well, one more question before we shift over. You know, you talk about the biggest misconception nonprofits have about retention and compensation. What do you mean by that?
A lot of the time, nonprofits have such a beautiful workforce behind them, supporting them.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, those are the people that maybe came up through the programs, or it's something that personally resonates with them. But when you
Yeah.
start to look at the things that nonprofits have to deal with, it's a constant turnover or rehiring cycle.
Yeah.
You're using at least a fair amount of volunteer work plus a dedicated few of W-2 employees. You know, maybe those volunteers are ones that initially start off on a part-time basis, but progress to being more predictable. And so there's always this idea of like, well, how do we retain people and keep them around more? I think the biggest misconception is that you don't have to use money as the only tool to keep someone around.
Yeah.
A lot of things that we can do to make someone feel a sense of belonging inside an organization that pushes them to stay outside of benefits and encourages their growth in that organization. So it's not necessarily a money problem. It is a value problem when it comes to retention.
Gotcha. Oh, I like that. Thank you so much for saying it that way. Now, folks, if you're watching on the live, please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the algorithm so that we can bring in more experts like this guy here, and so we can create impact all around the world. So make sure you do that. And if you wanna, if you're on the replay, I always say if you're live, you thrive. On the replay, you get to play again. So thank you for being here. Let's shift gears and talk a little bit more about you on the personal side. But before that, Jacob actually has a free gift for you down below. So he has an assessment. What are they going to get when they click on that down below?
Yeah, so what we have is called the Never Ending Fundraiser. You can go to neverendingfundraiser.com. That's whether you're for-profit, nonprofit. This is an assessment that we have for just seeing where you're at in terms of your current setup and to see what you could be maximizing in terms of both your company savings and employee savings. We do this just because we know the satisfaction that it brings us to get to work and bring something special to the organizations that work well with us. And in return, we know how much it helps them in the process. So that link below, neverendingfundraiser.com, will take you to a quick page where you can drop your email. We'll shoot an email back to you right away and take a quick assessment to see if you'd be a good fit for us. We might even waive any kind of setup fees that are associated with it if it is really a good fit.
Fantastic. I love it. Thank you so much. You're going to ring the Victor Bell for doing that and also helping nonprofits keep more of the money so they can create more good in the world. And we'll definitely be talking soon because I'm working with VCs. I'm getting funding for my project. So I'm going to need someone to help guide me because I'm not the expert in this. Very happy to have you here, Jacob. So Jacob, let's shift gears a little bit. Talk a little bit more about what I call the softer side of series, or some people call this a speed dating round. Get to know you as a person, because I always say people join a person, not a business.
Yeah.
And so let's just dive right into this. I want to ask you, where did you grow up and how'd you grow up?
I grew up right outside of Atlanta, so I was born in Decatur. We moved from Stone Mountain area out to a little town in Gwinnett called Grayson. So I grew up, I'd say I had the best childhood in the world. What I mean by that is I look at maybe how kids these days operate, and like I was outside from 3 p.m. if it was on a school day to 9 p.m. at night, just running around.
Yeah, that was us too. I love that.
If it was the summer, I'd be out even earlier, but I had a lot of had a lot of fun growing up. I had very close friends. High school was, it shifted a little bit, but again, I grew up just having fun and no real cares in the world. I had my mom, this is where I got the music from. She's a middle school orchestra and high school orchestra teacher in the county.
Nice.
My dad also ran IT systems for DeKalb County schools. So both parents, in the education system, and I just was outside playing all day.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's fantastic. So that sounds like an epic childhood.
Yeah.
I always tell my children all the time, like, every time it's like, as soon as it gets a little bit warmer and the snow starts to melt, every Friday I say, go outside.
Yeah.
Just go outside. Don't even stay inside. You're not allowed to. And then we try to do something on the weekend, go play basketball, tennis, pickleball. I don't know. Go for a run, go ride bikes. I mean, I miss when I was a child, being able to do that. And just like my buddies and I, gosh, it was the 80s. Like, you didn't come home until like the street lights, it turned on. That was like that was the dinner bell, right? Street lamps are on. Let's go home. So what about growing up then? Was there a specific, like, sort of like a movie or a book that helped kind of inspire and shape the way you think today?
Growing up, not. I mean, there are a lot of movies I can think about that I really liked. I mean, for one, I don't know why I really liked Interview with the Vampire or V for Vendetta. A lot of the time, like, I was more interested in, I guess, the macabre or dystopian type things. One of my favorite books growing up was 1984. So there's a bit of love for the dystopian in there.
That's okay. I love this post-apocalyptic kind of stories. Like when I watch like The Walking Dead or something like Hunger Games or what's the other one? There's so many other those kind of things. Or I love playing Fallout, the video game. So just got Fallout 4 and to finish that up. It's just so much fun. I'm so glad Prime actually made a series about it. It's fascinating to see everything come to life. But yeah, that post-apocalyptic kind of idea of like, what do humans do when they don't have that structure of society? How do we go down to our basest needs and start treating each other? And that's really what I find fascinating, is that psychology of how people treat each other in different environments. And it changes you, right? Yeah. All right. What was your favorite kind of music nowadays? What's your jam?
For a musician, I'd say I don't really jam that much. I listen to a lot of anything from indie rock, late 90s, early 2000s to classical. There's a lot of rap, early 90s to, more recent stuff. But I think these days I just enjoy the quiet. That's something people don't understand when, I have friends and they're just like, have you heard this new album? I'm like, no. They're like, how do you not listen to music as a musician? I'm like, it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Especially nowadays with like AI music out there. Oh God, you can kind of tell the ones that have no soul. And folks, don't forget, AI is not going to take over. The people that know how to use AI will take over. So, don't blame the tool, blame the people that are learning how to use it. So it's not their fault. That's just progress is always, the only thing constant in life is change, isn't it? Death and taxes, they always say you can't escape those two things, death and taxes. You're going to have to figure it out somewhere. What about, what is your favorite quote that helps inspire you?
This isn't so much for inspiration, but it's kind of a guiding principle. It's make the good thing easy, make the bad thing hard. And so that's from James Clear's Atomic Habits. In terms of books that inspired me as a kid, I wasn't looking for inspiration, but in my, that was one of the self-help books I read in my 20s. And I was naturally doing a lot of that stuff in terms of orienting my life, but the way that he just laid it out, it's like, if there's something that you want, whatever that good habit is, make that the easiest thing. So if it's waking up early, have your clothes next to the alarm clock, and make the bad thing hard. I guess get an ice pad or something you can lay on your bed as soon as like you get out, so it's like you don't want to lay back down. Deter the thing you don't want to do.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite books. I have it over there on my shelf, and I bought his workbook for the book too. But so let's talk a little bit. We got to shift gears now, but so before we go, what is your favorite food? I always find this a fun question.
Oh man, I'm Italian, so anything pasta. But I love like authentic ramen. Going to a good ramen shop that really hits the spot. But if I were to think about it in terms of like what's the food I've had the most of in my life, it would probably be boring old eggs. But I've had a large amount of eggs, so maybe that's my favorite. I don't know.
Gotcha. I'm trying to think like who can I call for that? All right, hello, Whole Country Buffet. Yeah, we need like a big old stack of eggs in the green room. I know, unusual request, but these VIPs, like that's how they are, they are got their own kind of taste in food, don't they? All right, thanks so much. All right, so totally my chef on call, so he's going to take care of you in the green room. So before we go, Jacob, tell me once again, like what is it that you want people to recall about you?
You don't have to be a professional in something that interests you for you to be able to get value out of it. As long as you're able to understand it on a deep enough level personally to where you can apply it to yourself, then that's what matters. With music, as an example, we can kind of be a little bit elitist at times, the classical or the jazz musicians. At the end of the day, if like, you're just a self-taught guitarist at home, and that brings you the value, and like you're in a comfortable place with it, good. If that's how it is with your financial planning. You don't have to be a certified financial planner or a CPA. As long as you have your strategy in place and it makes sense for you, if you can own it personally, that's all that matters. Just bring your authentic self to whatever level of understanding that it is for the things that you're interested in, and you're in good shape.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you so much, Jacob. We're going to give you a ring of the victory bell for doing the good that you do out in the world. There's this link down below. Make sure you grab it. If it's in the podcast, it'll be in the post show notes. If it's on YouTube, it'll be somewhere in a banner. Here. You're a smart audience. I know you will find it. So let's send them to the green room. See you shortly. So as we move forward into our sponsor segment, don't forget, we are sponsoring. Hey, this some guy named Raja has a professional speaker site now. We just launched it this year. So make sure you tune in. If you're a corporation that wants to use inclusivity to drive profitability, you need to talk to me, because you don't realize how much you are losing without focusing on it. And if you want to really make changes in the world, there's one thing that you got to do. And people think you got to make waves. Sometimes you got to make a big splash.
When you throw a rock into a lake, what happens? Oh, there's a splash. You make an impact, and then you get waves. And then you don't know where those waves are going. Those waves are going past around the reeds, and you don't know where that impact is. So all of you out there, when you're on stage, you don't know where your impact is going to end. It's never going to end.
All right, folks. So in today's 60-second mind shift, Jacob was talking about the nonprofit agenda, about really trying to do good and trying to make sure we keep more of the income in the company so that we can use the benefits the right way, especially right now. Whether you watch it, if you're watching it live, it's tax season. If you're watching on the replay, you probably missed tax season, but these rules will still help you out. number one, in the U.S., and I'm going to stay U.S. centric for now. If you don't have a business, home-based business of some kind, you are losing a ton of your income to taxes. Think about it this way. If every single year you can get back everything that you made in taxes and run a business that also creates a profit, isn't that a great thing? Well, guess what? That's what the U.S. tax code is really set up for. It's set up for corporations and for businesses. So if you don't have a nonprofit, if you don't have a home-based business, try to get it. Now, I'm not a tax expert, but I do know a bit by running my own businesses and nonprofits. So talk to your tax accountant and find out what it is. What are the minimum thresholds? And you'll find that sometimes you can write off your phone, your internet, your utilities, the square space of your office space that you use to run your home business in. You'll find that sometimes you can get a portion or sometimes all of your taxes back. So if you want to have a quick 4-figure, sometimes 5-figure return, a refund, definitely think about either nonprofit or home-based business so that you can actually do more good in the world and take some more home so you can support your family and your dreams. So let's bring back Jacob, see if he enjoyed all the food and if he saved me some. So Jacob, welcome back, man. How was all the food? Did you save me any?
No, sorry.
Okay. No problem. I'll just order more later. So what did you think about that 60-second mind shift? What's your big takeaway and what would you add to it?
I really liked that mindset shift. I think one thing I would add to it, just because we're so caught in our immediate perspective, is if you had an Etch-a-Sketch right now, if you were to write down a list of all the to-dos, the things that like life's thrown at you, and you were to just shake it up, right? Just get rid of all your thoughts, but reflect on the things that you wrote down. Is that impacting you 10 days from now, 10 months from now, or 10 years from now? And most of the time, the things that we get caught up in, which prevent us from, making big splashes, are the things that are just 10 days from now. We're not thinking about the bigger picture, what it looks like 10 years from now. So if we could zoom out from our zoomed in perspective,
I like that.
it would give us a lot more freedom.
Oh, zoom out from our zoom in perspective. I love that. Oh, I'm going to quote you on that. Okay. That's beautifully said. I like that because I think a lot of us forget that, there's a great quote by Les Brown, which I think he got from Aristotle, is that the problem with humanity is not that we aim high and miss, it's that we aim low and we hit. So I developed a program called Aim Higher. And it's really to get people to break out of that box of fear, that kind of closed-minded thinking, and start thinking larger, think bigger. When I started this show, I built the plane as I fly it. I didn't know what I was doing, but my goal was to do 100 interviews in 6 months, whether on my show or somebody else's. That didn't happen. I got 204 in 5 months. And now, fast forward 3 years, we just hit 500. And so, and that's only on my show. So if we add up every stage of it, I'm close to 1,000. So when you start to dream big and start saying like, whatever, just try it, good things happen. So my friends out there, aim higher. All right. So last chance, folks. There it is. There is Jacob's gift. Make sure that you grab it. And Jacob, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. You really are a blessed person. I want to thank you for helping out all the good that you do in the world. And as always, my friends, I'm Coach Raja. Don't fake it till you make it. Believe it and become it. And we'll see everybody on the next show. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Raj.
All right. So Jacob, 3 quick questions and we're out of here. Short and sweet. You could have been on, there's thousands of podcasts and shows out there. Why'd you pick mine? Why'd you pick me?
When I looked at your form, you had a good sense of humor. So So I
Yeah.
think there is, there is a sense of connection there,
Yeah.
So that was, there was a bit of an authenticity in terms of, okay, I could get along with this person.
Yeah, gotcha. And what was your biggest takeaway from the show today?
I liked the idea of the wave that you don't see around the bush. Like, you don't see the impact, behind all the things in the way. So I thought I like that.
Nice, thank you. And so and then last question, just totally unbiased, scale of 1 to 10, how much would you recommend me to somebody else's stage?
Sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
And how much would you recommend me to somebody else's stage?
To somebody else's stage?
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Beautiful. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for that.
What kind of stage do you want? So,
I want corporate stages. I want university stages, educational stages. I want to impact the world and show that everybody with a invisible disability actually has a hidden superpower. And right now, my 2 big projects I'm launching this year in the next 3 months, literally as we're talking, is I'm going to build schools in third world countries to get children off the streets, which is going to fix 4 of those world problems. We're going to reduce gangs, we're going to reduce drugs, and we're going to reduce trafficking. On top of that, we're going to educate them in a world economy. If we can attach them with farms and also health clinics, they get free health care, free mental health care also. And we start teaching them entrepreneurship from a young age. So if you take a child off the streets and you teach them from age 5 to maybe 15, their life after that will be okay. They'll be able to find a job. They'll be able to provide society with productivity. And when that happens, they change their families for the rest of their lives and all their following generations.
Yeah.
And my second arm of that is to build a biotech company that goes after these orphan diseases that most big pharma doesn't go after. So I want to be the largest player in that space. And so that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for big-minded investors, altruistic people, and looking for millionaires and multi-billionaires to help support that. And I recently found a few that reached out to me because I made my goal of 500 interviews in 3 years.
Sure.
And it's happening this year. It's like, I can't believe it. But I get to be the 99%, like I've been saying for years, and it's time.
On the healthcare, not healthcare, on the mental health counseling, that's one of the, I know we have a very robust system that is incredibly affordable. I know that's for US based, but in other countries, I wonder if their clinician, they'd have to have a license in that country.
Of course, yeah.
But it's, I'm sure if you need help finding networks for these, I basically think that an employee assistance program type. Yeah,
like an ERG group, like employee research group.
That would be one of the best, most economic setups for these kids.
Well, let's connect with that in the future, because I think that there is a need for that. I think, and I know a lot of people, especially this next generation, once you get past the boomers and you start to go to Gen X, the Gen Ys, the Gen Z, the millennials and Gen Zers, they know about this stuff. They're always asking for I need a mental health day or something to connect them, to give them a break from whatever stressors they're working for. They ask for it, and now according to HR policies, you have to observe it. You have to observe. You have to give them. So I don't know what the policies are, like how much or how many days or how much time, or but even Simone Biles during the last Olympics, she wanted to take time off because of mental health. So there are athletes that are coming out saying yes, this is the real thing. We do need help and support with this. And I feel like it's understated. I think that people should feel more free to open up and talk about it. All right, folks, podcast crew knows what to do, and we are out of here. So